No Reply. This I've not heard before. Let's take a listen, guys.
I apologize for the no reply. Wish I could describe what goes on inside. Get these butterflies and they make me tired. I was so uptight and preoccupied that I did not ask you about your life and the things you like, how you spend your nights and your 9 to 5. Are you that surprised? Oh no. Was I impolite? Was that joke alright? I just want to seem like a normal guy. You know how it's like. Try to see my side. You're a cinephile. I watch Family Guy on a Friday night off a rogue website. When I should be out with some friends of mine, running reckless wild in the streets at night, singing love or life with our arms out wide. Oh no, oh no, 'cause you know, 1 in a million ain't my love. I know my stories don't line up. If you're still making your mind up, there is still hope, you know. Well, you know. Well, you know.
Wow. A piano. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, guys. Yes. So that was the second song, No Reply, guys. Wow. First off, the vocals. I mean, classic. Kevin Parker. You've got that dreamy, falsetto-driven tone that I feel like floats, between sincerity and a bit of detachment. This man is not, belting or showing off. I love the fact that it's soft, it's airy, and almost shy, which totally fits the theme of the song. You can hear, how he layers his voice, to create this hazy cloud of emotion. Like, he is whispering from behind the glass. It's that signature Tame Impala mix, if you ask me, vulnerable yet distant. And when he sings, I apologize, for no reply. Wish I could describe, what goes on inside. Man, guys, that line, that really hits so deep. It's not just about ignoring the text. It's about the inability to articulate what's happening internally. You can feel that quiet guilt in his tone, like he is saying sorry, but still wrapped in his own head. I love the fact that it's intimate, without being melodramatic. Yeah. Now, production wise, I feel like this song walks an interesting line. you know It's not your typical dance, kaleidoscope, Tame Impala wall of sound. If you ask me, I mean, it's more stripped back, a bit lo-fi even. You can hear that it was partly recorded on voice memos, and that I feel like gives it this raw human feel. There's a really subtle groove, a pulsing underneath. Those muted synths and soft percussion almost mimic the feeling of pacing, in your own thoughts. The bass is warm and rounded, I have to say, but love the fact that it doesn't dominate. Instead, it just kind of hugs the song, keeping it grounded whilst the vocals, drift upward. Then there is that little lift near the end, the wordless, that Kevin does, is like a release, the emotional exhale after 3 minutes of bottling things up, I mean, it's beautiful in a quiet way, not flashy, just honest. Production wise, this song, is up there for me personally. Lyrically, this song, No Reply, feels like, the sound of someone, replaying and missing the connection in their mind. He is second guessing himself. Was it? Was I impolite? Was that joke all right? That's the pure, social anxiety right there. If you ask me, I mean, it's relatable to anyone who's ever thought a conversation or drifted away from someone, unintentionally. There's even humor in it. You are a sinful. I watch Family Guy. That line cracked me up, for a second there, but it also says a lot. He is comparing himself, to someone, a cultured, feeling insecure about being ordinary. It's that, tug of war between wanting to seem normal and feeling inadequate. And at its heart, this song is about this connection. Not because you don't care, but because you can't quite bridge that gap between your thoughts, and the outside world. To me, that's where Kevin's songwriting really, really shines. It's self-aware, it's flawed, and totally human. Yeah. So overall, this song, No Reply, isn't the most explosive track, on this album, Dead Beat, but to me, it's one of the most emotionally honest. The vocals are fragile, the production is intimate, and the message, definitely hits anyone who's ever gone silent, not out of apathy, but out of confusion. Yes. So if you've ever struggled to say, what's really going on inside, I feel like this song will feel like, it's speaking to you. So that is just me. That's just what I think about the song. But what do you guys think about the song No Reply? Is this song, one of Kevin's most relatable moments, or do you prefer in his more psychedelic, grand production? Please, drop your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you felt this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, such as this one.